Okay? Are you working or not? You're working at least. So yeah, so I kind of shitty. But LJ coming in and saying that he has problem. Now, the cool thing is he's meeting someone. They're saying like, yo, we're gonna have this scare shit program. We're gonna be you're gonna be put with a you're gonna be put with another criminal. That criminal's gonna teach you what it's like to be in jail, how bad it is, and why you shouldn't go to jail. Now the jail happens to be the father, which is kind of cool because it's a way for LJ Jr., LJ, and Lincoln to be together. So I actually like that. LJ is like, no, this guy doesn't exist to me. This is nuts. Now, Michael's because Lincoln says you gotta trust Sucre, then he does something to look to make sure that Sucre isn't lying. So what he says is he has a phone, just not a phone, and he basically see if Sucre is gonna snitch, or not, right? That's pretty much it. So we have a speech with the Warren. So what is the importance of Sucre? Sucre, if he lies, can be trusted, and if he doesn't lie, he can be trusted. He can't be trusted. So this is kind of important because the phone is literal money here. Warren talks to Lincoln. Lincoln said, "I don't want anybody on my deathbed." Warren's like, "Yo, you should try it." We have again the family of Crab that says, I don't want to help you, Veronica. I'm gonna put myself in a danger." Veronica is kind of pursuing uh, or persuading um, Letitia to do something, which is meaningful because she is trying to succeed where Michael has failed. But however, if Michael is right, then all of this is meaningless. Um, it's actually cool because now you got a scene between Bellic and Lincoln. And once again, the scene is to show that Lincoln does have a good relationship with some of the guards. He's respected, right? And it's like you don't have shit to bargain. And Lincoln's like, yo, I have a phone, which is kind of nice because again, you're putting a use for a lie, but it's the lie itself is to make sure that Sucre won't lie, right? So you put in Sucre in danger to protect your brother. But Sucre is a good dude. You know, if you put Theodore, I wouldn't mind, but Sucre is a good dude. And it's just how far you're willing to go. However, with the show, and again, the problem with the show is it feels so scripted that you know, by the way, that Sucre is gonna be okay. It's crazy because you don't know that cell phone is made of soap or soap, but you know Sucre is gonna be okay, right? So you're like, okay, well, something's happened to Sucre. I don't know what it is. I know it's gonna be okay, but I know there's a phone involved, right? Jenna Brucey. Jenna Brucey once again is getting some influence from outside and saying, "Yo, guess what? You better do what we're doing because otherwise it'll go bad." And then he involves his kids, which is kind of shitty. But at the same time, yeah, it's gonna be raining pretty hard today. Um, it is kind of shitty, but at the same time, it is good because whoa. Yeah, we're gonna be starting to rain really soon. It's kind of stupid. Oh, how much money do I have? 29%. Okay, we're good. It's kind of stupid because, again, the principle of it is amazing. And this is why the show, in my opinion, way weaker than a show like Lost. The principle of it is like, yo, we know that you're strong in here, but you don't mean shit. I got your kid, and I can get to your kid what I want. You better work for us. Which is scary because, again, it puts pressure on the character of John Abruzzi, which is great because it puts pressure on the character of John Abruzzi, which puts him pressure to be part of the plan to escape the prison, which actually helps Michael. Michael is our main character. However, the principle of it, a guy on the inside looking for, it doesn't make any sense. So Balaki says, "Yo, guess what? You like your visit with your wife, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I love them." It's like you're not really supposed to. You're not married. And then Super's like, "Yeah, but we're engaged." And Balik's like, "I'm gonna cut it if you don't tell me where the cell phone is." And Secret doesn't tell where the cell phone is, which means that he is trustworthy. So Sucre is pissed at Michael, and then he says, "You're a piece of shit because I left my conjugal over that." And Michael is like, "Yo, I can get you out." But again, I can get you out versus something that I already had is um, okay, so now Letitia is finally talking. She's actually saying what's up. She says how Crab, before he died, met with two guys, and those two guys were governmental type, right? The two guys that were sitting there, two guys that are going after LJ, after Lincoln, after Veronica. So this is the confirmation that these are involved in shady business. You got more of Michael and Sarah. Now, this is cool because this is an instance where they don't flirt, where Sarah is genuinely worried about Michael. So what it's implying is that Sarah is a caring person, but Michael already planned. So that's a spoiler. But Michael knew about her past. She's a drug user. Michael knew how vulnerable she was. She started to plan escape. Then he falls in love with her, but in the beginning he was just gonna use her. So when you see how nice she is, kind of sucky. You got Veronica who's getting too close. One of the governmental type, the most important one, is going to meet her. So it's like, okay, well, this is important. Veronica goes in, um, and that's pretty much it. Uh, uh, Abruzzi is thinking about Michael. Now the cool thing here is once again, last episode you cut his toes, it didn't work. Last last scene that we have was in Abruzzi getting basically like pressured by his co-worker to be like, yo, you need to help us out. So it does serve purposes and a sense of this is once again this is the path of John Abruzzi being pushed forward to lead someplace where Michael is. Um, Suple gets pissed off at Michael. Michael tells him, "Yo, guess what? This is this is. I'm still gonna cut you in." And Sucre's like, "No," which ultimately is important because it leads Sucre to leave the cell. And by Sucre leaving the cell, this is a bad plot for the plan. See, the plan relies on a good cellmate, right? And the plan didn't rely on Sucre leaving. When Sucre is leaving, it's like, yo, this is the perfect guy, and we're leaving. Once again, it feels good, but it feels bad because what are the odds that you had a good cellmate? Right? There's a bunch of people that are kind of shitty. Um, so you got a plan where Theodore goes in, and you know that John Abruzzi kind of injured Michael. Like, guess what? You got an enemy, we got a common enemy, maybe we should get together. However, in this case, John Abruzzi betrays Theodore, and he tells Michael, like, yo, I kind of have you back in here. Which is important because, again, it is playing nice with Michael. It is good in the sense of John Abruzzi is standing in the olive branch. It is bad in the case that Michael doesn't really care because once he's gone, he is gone. Tio is such a. There's a really cool scene where the priest is meeting with Lincoln, and once again, the scene in itself is not important. It's just about Lincoln having to say that. But then it pushes because they're showing people that are generally caring and are taking care of Lincoln, just like the prison system, and they're really pushing it to be a better person. So in this case, it's showing that Lincoln is having a reason, having a tool, and having the means to become a better person. Next scene is him and LJ, and him wanting to be a good father, realizing that he's been a shitty father, to make amends, you know? In LJ, he can still be safe, which is important. They're trying to build a relationship that's not there, right? Once again, what I said before, how him and LJ didn't see eye to eyes, how him and LJ had a shittiest of relationship. It is important because how can I put this? As the underdog father, with Veronica and her fiance's like, yo, why are you not there? Why don't you care? And she's like, yeah, I do care about it, but at the same time, I gotta do something. And her fiance's like, yo, the wedding is off. We meet A-Wire who is a psych ward. A-Wire's one character that doesn't really got. It's kind of really sad. So that's pretty much it. We got Michael that says it's a problem. Now this scene is kind of meaningful, but kind of meaningless because the last scene between Michael and Lincoln is how Sucre is not to be trusted.